What's going on, everybody? My name is Anthony Galaviz. Hope everybody's well. Just the start of the Thursday, July 31st, last day of the month before we hit August. And we can all say once we hit August, next month or September is the official start of NFL regular season schedule. So it's almost here, but nonetheless, preseason games where a lot of rookies, undrafted rookies, free agents are trying to make the team. So that's nothing new throughout the league with teams, especially with the Las Vegas Raiders, who about to practice in an hour in Henderson, Nevada. But nothing happening. They did practice yesterday, but there was no media availability. But some news broke last night as far as Kolton Miller getting an extension through 2028. Before I talk about that, I'm about to go to work. Just want to talk about the Raiders a little bit. Then also what we all read about yesterday regarding Davante Adams. But first, Kolton Miller, very deserving, like I said last night on Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter. You'll keep him through 2028. I think he's a key focal point on the offensive line, obviously, to protect Geno Smith, and Geno will get that protection for that left side from Kolton Miller, who was drafted out by the Raiders out of UCLA. Last guy who's been with the Raiders since being drafted. Everybody else is gone from that class, obviously. All right, video cut off because a phone call came in. I hate when that happens. So when I'm trying to do business here, I don't like to be interrupted. So anyways, Kolton Miller, like I said, is signed through 2028, getting that extension last night. Congrats to him. Good news for Geno Smith, who surely will get that protection on the left side. Obviously, Kolton Miller struggled last year, mainly because of injuries he suffered prior before the season before, and then carried over. He wasn't himself. Now fully healthy, enjoyed his time there with the Raiders, joking around with the head coach Pete Carroll. Expect big things from Kolton Miller, a rebound year for him, and we'll see what happens. But congrats to Kolton Miller. So there's other. Now, wondering if the Raiders are going to go ahead and extend Jacoby Myers. Jacoby is very deserving of that. So we'll see what happens, who's to be the next player to be extended. Davante Adams yesterday. Talking about Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, let's say this. That year when Josh McDaniels came to the Raiders were coming off a playoff appearance. Things went south immediately with Josh McDaniels. It also led to Derek Carr's release from the Raiders. And I was going to give Josh McDaniels a pass because, I feel like everybody deserves a second chance. His first 10 years as a Denver Broncos head coach didn't go exactly the way he wanted. Everything fell apart. Brandon Marshall, Jay Cutler, you all saw how that ended. Now, when he came to the Raiders, I was like, okay, maybe he learned his lesson. He learned a lot from Bill Belichick. Well, I was a fool to believe that. And that led to the demise of Derek Carr, who ended up going to the New Orleans Saints. Raiders just went from there was a lot of hype coming in, because Davante Adams was traded to the Raiders, and you expected big things from Derek Carr and Davante Adams because they showed at Fresno State. So you figured, they're going to reconnect and have those highlight reel, stuff that you're seeing over there in Cincinnati with Burrow and Chase. That didn't exactly happen with the Raiders. Although that game against the Chiefs, you kind of got a glimpse of that. But it didn't go the Raiders' way. Everything fell apart. After Cards released, they brought in Garoppolo. That didn't go too well. You also the Netflix where Davante just went off. It wasn't liking how everything was going. Kind of threw Jimmy under the bus. Saw that game against Detroit, 2 overthrown passes. And yesterday, or whatever that was recorded, I think it was 2 days ago, Davante said it was miserable. Some dark days over there, the Raiders. I pin all of that on Josh McDaniels for ruining what the Raiders could have potentially had to everything falling apart. So I know the Raider fans are disappointed in Davante Adams, saying that he's a next Randy Moss, throwing Raiders on the bus. Never see that side of Davante, but he said what he said. But I feel like all you fans felt miserable too, because McDaniels came in and just kind of, I don't know, messed everything up. Let's be honest. But Davante, I don't know. I think I would have kept quiet, but he said what he said. He just, he's gonna be 100. But I think you just need to move on, and just playing our hearts out. At your next team. Obviously, it didn't go his way with the Jets with Aaron Rodgers. Now with the Rams, maybe they can. I don't know. We'll see. But we're just kind of like surprised with that. What he said about the Raiders. Kind of surprised, but not surprised. But again, like all this was all McDaniels. Now who's with the Patriots, who the Raiders will face in Week 1. I'm sure Max Crosby would like nothing more than to disrupt that offense. So we'll talk about that come Week 1. Again, my name is Anthony Gallery, so I'll have another video today after practice. Hope everybody has a good day.